Hi guys, so today is going to be a little bit of a dark video, and we're going to be talking about something that I was kind of interested in for like years and years on end. And every time I think about this, well, I wouldn't call it a case, but just more of a theory. It's a little controversy of where this became. So we're going to be talking about Michael Jackson's song Little Susie. And everybody is so confused about this song because it is very it's almost like a mystery. It's like a mystery song because nobody knows if this song is like what everything he's saying is true or not. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about all the things that I found. Everything. Not all of this is true. I just found out some information, and like I said, not any of this is so true, so do not take me by my word for any of this. It is just what I found, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit, and I'm also going to be doing my makeup while I'm doing it. So let's get soft moisturizing cream, and we're just going to get into it. So I'm going to be talking about just some theories and what has been going around about this song. And I found a little thing, and it says Little Susie / Pai Jesu is Michael Jackson's only published song. So I have my computer right here so I can see. If you guys see me looking over here, I have my notes and whatever, and I'm also gonna be looking at my mirror. So I'm not gonna be looking at the camera, but it is Michael Jackson's only published song that I know of that I would call modern classical music. He was a huge admirer of great musicians of the past, especially Debussy, Mozart, and often talked about his dreams of writing a completely classical album. So he was into a lot of classical music, it seems. It even says, too, there was a time where he just loves classical music and he would just fall asleep to classical music at night, and he just has a love for it. And he also dreamed of one day making a whole classical album, and that was his thing. And he says that he loves classical music all the time, and it is usually something that calms him down. And this is his words. This is what he said. So Michael Jackson said he says he always loved classical music. It always calms him down. And at Neverland, it was the only style of music that was consistently played all over the grounds. It has also been reported that it was one of a kind of music he liked to listen to while riding in the car. I hope you don't mind. I gave a little background about Michael Jackson and his love for this style of music, which understands how the music is. The entire song is like very classical music, very old, almost a little bit creepy as well. Next, I'm going to be going into my Smashbox Original Finish primer. So yeah, he really loved classical music, and when he was making Little Susie, he obviously put that into his song. A little classical music feel, almost a little spooky vibe as well, which is really nice. The song begins with a classical piece, Pai Jesu. I don't know if I'm saying that right, I'm probably saying that wrong. That was arranged by the great Broadway composer Andrew Lloyd Webber, who wrote Phantom of the Opera. Love that. It is from his composition named The Requiem, which he wrote in 1985, which is the most famously sung by Phantom star Sarah Brightman. We all know Sarah Brightman. Very fun. Next, I'm going in with my Rem Beauty eye cream, and just gonna be. I'm so sorry if I'm not a really good multitasker, so if you see me kind of scramble a little bit, so it's everywhere, just understand that I'm not a multitasker. All requirements are the type of Catholic funeral most deaths back in the 1200s. Almost, if not at all, great classical music had been written by their own version of the Requiem, and there were cases written by him as a tribute to his father, who passed away in 1990. Oh my god, I can't speak. 1982. So yeah, that was his thing. That's how is his inspiration on his song that he wrote. That was just the inspiration and where he was going with the song, which is pretty nice. I remember when I first listened to it, something happened. I remember when he was listening to the song, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a nice feel song. Very like ghost ballroom kind of theme. But the rest of the song was composed by Michael Jackson in 1995. And it's supposedly inspired by based on a real life story of a little girl named Susie who was, murdered, which is kind of sad. And according to sources that I've looked up, little Susie, or Susan, as it says her name was only about 5 or 6 years old at the time she was supposedly murdered. Like I said, nobody knows if this story is true of how there actually was a little girl named Susie. Nobody knows. But people want to know, because apparently she was not cared for, nobody loved her. And here is the story that I found. Don't know if it's true, but I'm gonna tell you the story anyway. So little Susie, who was known as, let me rephrase that. Susan, she does not have a last name, apparently. There was no record of her last name or her. There's no actually record of her anywhere, but people know that her name was Susan and often was called by little Susie. She was about 5 or 6, and her parents were just really horrible people. Her dad was in jail, and her mom apparently was a prostitute or drug addict, probably both, I think. And her mom did not give a crap about little Susie. Apparently, little Susie also had an older sister, and her name was, I think it was Abby. I think that was her name. And Abby who cared for her all the time. Abby was little Susie's mom. She took care of her, fed her, bathed her, changed her, whatever, all that stuff, because their mom did not care. So, okay, what am I gonna do now? Hold on, gonna pause the story real quick. I think I'll do eyebrows. Next, I'm gonna be going into my Benefit little brow gel, and I'm gonna use the tip of this just to brush it out. But going back to the story, little Susie and Abby were just so close, and one day Abby was going to go to the grocery store to get groceries because they ran out, and at the time they were really poor, so they didn't have that much money. They didn't have a car, so they had to walk there. And Susie's mom and Abby's mom was disappeared. She kind of went off and did her own thing and kind of just didn't come back for days on end. And this was pretty normal for them, which is really messed up. what kind of mom disappears on her kids, you know? And so Abby went to the grocery store and, you know, got her groceries and was about to come home, and she left little Susie home alone because little Susie, you know, didn't want to go, I guess. And suddenly she gets hit by a car, and she sadly passes away, leaving little Susie alone. And since little Susie was a kid, she needed another place to live. And the only person that they could find was Susie's grandfather, who I think it was his dad's dad. So on her dad's side, his grandfather was alive. And so she had to go and care with him up in the mountains. So she had to move. And she didn't really know her grandfather that well. So she was kind of just like, okay, he's my grandfather, so I have to go with him now since, you know, my mom is gone and my sister died. So little Susie had to live with her grandfather, and her grandfather was another terrible person. He allegedly, like I said about the story, this is just the theory story of what people think had happened, and I'm telling you it for video purposes, but like I said, none of this is true. Well, I don't think. It's just a theory. So her grandfather was a huge alcoholic and a huge gambler. He would always gamble with his friends all the time, gambled whatever he had, didn't really care about Susie. So he would just go off and gamble all the time. And so, before I continue, I'm going to be going in with my Hoola bronzer and just going to be bronzing my face. Like I said, he gambled so much, and it would almost be like every night he would gamble. There was not a time where he did not gamble, which is gone. So he would leave Susie alone by herself like all the time, almost like her mother would just leave all the time. That's how he was too. And so when he was not out gambling and, you know, drinking and stuff, he would sexually assault Susie, which is so messed up. That's disgusting. And yeah, he would, when he would not be out gambling, he would, you know, do that to her. And Susie was lonely. She didn't go to school either. I guess like nobody really cared about her education, so she never got to be outside with other kids, was always inside and just kind of doing nothing. And all she had was her music box that she had. And like in the beginning of the song, there's a music box playing in Michael Jackson's song in the beginning. And okay, before I start again, I know I keep stopping, but I'm gonna go in with my Fenty contour stick and also the Anastasia contour powder kit. So yeah. So all she had was her music box to keep her entertained while she was always at home. And she had 0 friends. She didn't go to school, so she didn't have an education. And she was just lonely, so she didn't have anybody. She honestly thought that nobody cared about her, and that was the reason why she was like so sad all the time, which is horrible. Sorry, give me a second. But yeah, so she would always, every night when she would miss her sister, or she would kind of just stay up because she was scared to go to sleep because she was scared that her grandfather would come in and molest her. while she was sleeping, so she would always kind of just stay up because she was scared, and she would always play her music box and sing to it just to calm herself down, which is understandable. I don't think I would be able to sleep either if all of this was happening to me, so I get you, Susie. I get why. But after one of these days, she was at home alone again, and sorry, I'm like really concentrating right now. But she was alone again. Her grandfather went out and was gambling like usual, and all of a sudden there were intruders that broke into her grandfather's house, and she was in there, and she heard noises downstairs, and she was just like, who's here? She thought it was her grandfather, and so she didn't really pay much attention until she heard sounds like of broken glass and stuff, and she started to be really, really scared. So I'm gonna be going in with my Airspun face cleaner powder. This is gonna be messy. Hold on. Oh gosh, messy already. Damn it. Ah, hold on. Need a minute. I need a minute. Hold on. Okay, like I said, she heard intruders in her house, and they were taking everything. They were robbing, her grandfather's house, and little Susie was upstairs, and she hid in her closet. She thought that she could be quiet and hopefully that they wouldn't see her, but as you guys know, this story is tragic. There's never a happy ending, apparently. And they found her. And they abused her. They beat her. They stole everything in their house. And it was just sad. And after they beat her upstairs, they actually threw her down the stairs, and she, since like obviously oh no, this made a mess. This always happens, I swear. But back to the story. They threw her down the stairs, and she instantly died. And obviously in the song title there's a thing where it said that hold on, let me read this. This is quote from a website I found. The actual story is quite interesting and very sad. Many of the facts in the song were based on the actual case. The line he repeats about the blood in her hair was very indicative of the horror behind the story it was based on. Like I said, blood in her hair, and there was blood in her hair. Obviously, she fell down the stairs, hit her head really hard, and apparently it was like a long staircase, and she just was dead on the bottom of the staircase. She was dead. And so after that, her grandfather came home, saw that all of his stuff was missing, and like everyone does, he calls the police. Reports that his house is robbed. But he leaves. He just dips because he was just like, I don't want to live here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. So he just left. And the worst part, and I'm not being like, this is not even it. This is only half of it. But the police, obviously, they were doing their investigation. And so now, okay, hold on. Before we get on, I'll show you my products. And right now I'm going to be going in with the Damn Girl Too Faced mascara with my nice gold curling iron. And I'm also going to be doing my under eyes with the Chanel mascara as well. So back to my story. So yeah, the police were doing the investigation, and you know, they were checking everything, seeing what was missing, see what was all the damage. And then they found little Susie's body on the bottom of the stairs. Sorry, I'm trying to, it's hard. I need to concentrate when I do my mascara because it's like scary. Okay, so I did my lashes. They look really good. A little tan, but it's fine. But like I was saying, the police, you know, was doing their thing and checking what was missing and all that stuff. And so first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go in with this Rem Beauty perfume eyeshadow palette. Sorry, I kind of was slow. But yeah, back to what I was saying. You know, they were just doing what they always do, look all the clues, and they found little Susie's body on the bottom of the stairs. And guess what they do? And don't say good things. They push her body aside. They did not investigate her body at all. They didn't do an autopsy or anything. They just kind of pushed her body aside, which is really messed up. Like, you know, she was a part of it too. Like, she was a part of the whole burglary thing. You know, she was there. Like, why would you push her body aside and just leave her like that? So they didn't do anything. I hope this doesn't go off. If it does, I'm gonna be super mad. But like I said, they pushed her body aside, and instead of doing an autopsy and everything, they were just like, whose girl is this? Like, who knows who this girl belongs to? Because, you know, we needed to know so we can just move on and do that. And so they did a whole like town thing where they were just like, who does anybody know this little girl? Okay, we're gonna try this again. My camera keeps coming off and I'm really mad. Like I said, again, after all of that, they were just wanting to just know who this girl belonged to. So they were just did a town meeting and were just like, anyone know this little girl? And there was, I think it was a man. I think a man raised his hand and was like, yes, I know who she belongs to. Her mother is gone, and her father is in jail. Her sister passed, and she had to live with her grandparent, her grandfather. And, you know, this girl was just being abused and was just not being treated right. And that is what this guy said. Allegedly. So, you know, everybody was just like, can we see the girl? Can we know what she looks like? Maybe we can give you more information on her if we see her. So they did. They put out a photo of little Susie's body, which, I don't know, there's like some picture that went around of little Susie's body. And little Susie's body was sadly, obviously, was not in good shape. I'm going in with the Pixie On The Go blush, and I just put a lot on, I know. But like I said, she was just not looking the best. And people felt sorry for her and didn't know that, you know, she was going through this pain. And obviously, you know, they were all all felt sorry for her. And so that was the story of little Susie that I found. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's a very messed up story either way. And if this was a real life person and this really happened to somebody, that's really sad and messed up. I can't imagine going through something like that or hearing about that. That's just messed up. And the fact that she was a little child, that just makes it even worse that she was just going through all that. But like I said, this is all a theory, and that is just a story that I found online. That's the closest one. I found multiple different versions of that story that I just told you, but a lot of the same stuff was matched up. She didn't have good parents, she had somebody, but they sadly passed away. And that's all that I found from that, which is very kind of interesting. But like I said, nobody knows the real story of little Susie. Nobody knows what really happened to her, or if she's even a real person. Nobody knows. That's why this story was just so interesting to me. Because even if it was a real story, Michael Jackson literally made a song about this person. Because, she was not loved. Nobody cared about her. Nobody knew she was going through all that. And if she did had someone, they were lost. Oh, and I'm going with the Fenty Beauty highlighter. But like I said, it's very sad. Nobody knows if this story is real or why Michael Jackson decided to make a song about this. Why he did that song. Nobody knows. But people just want to know the real story. Ooh, glowy. And he raised a lot of eyebrows. Even to this day, nobody, everybody wanted to ask him about this song, but now he's dead. Now nobody can ask that question. I'm gonna be going with the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. Woo! Like I said, everybody wants to know about this, but since Michael Jackson is dead, it's just gonna stay a mystery, which is crazy. And I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty in the thing called Glass Bomb. The lip gloss, I mean. Like I said, nobody knows. So it's gonna be a secret for forever now. All people can do now is just talk about it, just guess and just hear people's other theories on what they think. What happened, if it was real, why did Michael Jackson write the song? What was the whole purpose of the song? Why he did it, and is this a real story? Nobody knows. So that is it. I hope you guys like it, and I know I kind of messed up on my makeup, but I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, not tomorrow, sometime. And yeah, here's my makeup look. It's a little messy, but I'm experimenting. But hope you guys like my video, and maybe if you guys want to see more of this, then please let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you later. Bye.